Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and get the finance and personnel meeting started. And we'll get started with roll call. Mayra Reyes.
Juan Cifuentes.
Anya Valencia.
Michael Engel.
David Ballard.
Bob Helverson.
Thank you. Did we have any public comments? Okay, no public comments. Moving on with Dr. Engel.
All right, well, welcome everybody. Up top, we have some donations. We've got a donation from Snap-on Tools from Steve Johnson Racing for the automotive program at East High. We have books from the Asian Cultural Association for the district's elementary schools. We have the piñata and candy from Dulce Area. Aurora from the family raffle at Bardwell Elementary. We have 2 bicycles from the Keystone Lodge number 15 for students at Bardwell Elementary as well. We have a $200 from the Knights of Columbus for the 4th degree for the NJROTC program at East High. We have $600 from Bridging the Gap Aurora for the senior class prom at East High. We have $1,100 from Shebix Inc. for Peace Jam Club at East High. And our last donation is $1,140 from the Moline Regional Community Foundation for senior scholarship at East High. Are there any questions on the donations? No? Okay.
No, I don't have any.
All right. On the next section there, section 3B, we have the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting dates and times. So those are going to be for the 26-27 school year. They follow the board meeting dates too, quite nicely. So that's there. Under the next section, so this is 3C, we have the monthly financial reports. We have April 2026 financials in there, which you will see the revenue, expenditures, and fund balance report. And we also have the payroll report for April as well. And for our first kind of item for tonight, if you will, we have the lease certificate amendment. So back about a year and a half ago, the district went out for lease certificates for the building of the Career and Technical Education Center. And we are asking to have them amended and used for phase 2 and phase 3 of the HVAC project over at East High. So we're going to need board approval and board motion on the 15th to have this go through so it can go back for underwriting, and then we could start those projects. Okay. Any questions on those?
Dr. Engel, and that timeline will allow us to make sure that we can adhere to what we need to as far as the requirements of lease certificates and still use it effectively for the HVAC projects at the high school.
Correct. So it's a 3-year time limit, if you will, on the on the lease certificates, and they need to be expensed by, I believe it's September of 2027. So I believe that's the date in the memo. So that's when they need to be expensed by. That does not mean the job needs to be 100% completed, but it needs to be expensed by. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions for that one?
I don't have any.
No. Okay. The next is commercial insurance, liability insurance, property insurance, and workman's comp insurance. The district went out for an RFQ for commercial insurance. There's 3 respondents to the district's RFQ. We actually had the attorney help draft the RFQ for this one as well, which is actually really nice. Robin Schwartz did a good job. There's also a committee of 4 individuals who sat on it, and we actually went through every single one of the RFQs and looked at the most responsive, kind of best overall by qualifications for the district. And we're happy to say, after going through the 3 of them, we have a resolution that would be dropping for action later this night and for approval by the board for a carrier that actually was able to not only reduce our deductible, but also increase our coverage limits and save the district over $400,000 annually. So that'll be going for action later this evening.
Dr. Engel,
Yep.
could you just share why we have to have that for action this evening as far as the coverage timelines, et cetera,
Absolutely.
for the finance committee, please?
So to make sure that everything gets binded and in place, because our current insurance will expire on June 30th. We have to have it in place for the new start of the school year, which would be July 1st. And we definitely need to move on it quite quickly, quite honestly. So
Now, who was this under previously?
this was under Hub Commercial, so it was Hub International Insurance, and they did the collective liability, the workman's comp, and the property.
Now, this is something that we haven't also gone out to bid in quite a while, right?
Correct. It's been, I want to say at least 15 years.
15 years, and we're saving, you said 400.
Correct. If you look last year, the spend for, like I had mentioned, for higher deductibles, less coverage was 1.225 million, and the amount that came back was 822,000.
Mm,
So it's a little bit over $400,000 difference.
okay.
Dr. Engel, could you also take us through how that increased coverage and less deductible would be beneficial for the district as well, please?
No, absolutely. So increased coverage, I mean, it's always a good thing to have increased coverage, especially on the limits. Our biggest thing was the collective limit. If you look at any type of loss here for the district, actually went, instead of like $5 or $6 million per occurrence, it's now 36 million. The insured values are practically the same. I want to say it was $665 million in total insured coverage. And the good thing is, like within this program itself, it allows the district within that first year to actually go out and do an actual industrial appraisal of the entire district, meaning walk every single building, get an appraiser out, and get what it would actually take to cost to rebuild, and get those actual numbers in there, because that has also not been done in, I would say, 15 years as well. So it's been a while.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My, I guess, really only concern is that we truly are getting the best value, not necessarily the lowest cost.
Correct. And I'm glad that you brought this up, because that's another good poignant point of this firm. All they do is school districts. I want to say they have over 380 school districts here in Illinois, and their business is school districts strictly.
Okay.
There's no mix with any other type of industry that's out there. This is strictly school districts.
Okay.
They know schools.
But going along what she just said, the value
Mhm.
is increasing somehow though, right?
And
Oh,
I don't
in-
mean necessarily like monetary value. I mean like in terms of coverage and
Yeah.
what's even their customer service going to be like, their responsiveness, like just
Mhm.
value overall. Like I want to make sure we're getting the best value, not necessarily we're going after the lowest
I
bidder.
agree with you 100%. And I would say the committee that was there, they would agree 100% that this is not only the best value, but also best encompass
Right.
group that
around.
was out there. And I think
Okay.
we actually have the other three members of the group right here. Andy was part of it. AJ was there, and also Daniel. So it's the four.
Consensus?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Student accident insurance being a major player in there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just for reference, when we look at committee here, I know it was only admin that was on this one, but when we go forward, that's because we've talked with the union about that, because we have the joint committee.
Correct.
But when we come forward with our medical coverage, that is a joint committee where we've got both sides there, and we've been going on. So those are two separate ones, and we've got a
Mhm.
little bit more timeline because of that, because of the renewal cycle with that. So
Yeah. And I did want to ask that. I know that we are behind by like 15 years in doing this. I think the last time I asked, you said this is done every maybe 5 years.
Typically, like best practice every 3 to 5 years, quite honestly. I mean, I always kind of refer people back. When was the last time you just shopped insurance for your own self, like
Right.
home, auto,
What
etc.?
time
Yeah.
of year is the best time to do this? Because this feels
So,
almost a little rushed.
this was a little bit rushed, quite honestly. This whole process started, I want to say, end of January with the RFQ, and obviously the actual development of it, since the district had not gone out and had one. Having the attorneys Robin Schwartz help us develop one with the criteria to help evaluate said firms actually took a little bit of time, and then
Right.
the advertising of it, putting it out there, the interviewing, the waiting for respondents to it's a lengthy timeline. The fastest turnaround I've ever seen with an RFQ is literally 8 to 12 weeks. So this process has been ongoing, and we kind of use the backwards methodology of when do we absolutely need to have this in place, and let's work backwards from there.
Yeah.
So, but to go on with a little bit of a further point, the RFQ for health benefits has a longer runway because that is through December 31st.
Right.
And our goal as a committee is to have a broker in place most likely in August, if at the absolute latest by September.
Okay. Thank you.
Board member is great point though. That's something we definitely want to make sure that we build a system to, and we look at the cadence of that moving
Yeah.
forward. So that's something we're definitely going to be cognizant of as we
For
continue
sure.
to move
And I
forward.
totally understand that not having that, maybe the next time we don't have to sit there with the lawyer and draft a brand new RFQ. We may just be able to build from what we have now.
Absolutely. And that will also take some time
Perfect.
savings as well, for sure.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Dr. Engel.
Absolutely. All right, the next one, Daniel Ulrich's going to present on, which is the fresh fruits and vegetable grant.
Yeah, so we have the opportunity, Fresh Fruits and Vegetable Program. We had last year and in years past, an opportunity to bring nutritious snacks to our students twice a week. This year, we did not have that grant, but the application is now open. We worked together as a team to gather the information, submit our application. So that is in the state's hands now for review, and we're just waiting to hear back from them. So hopefully we'll hear back in the next, I would say hopefully within the next month, and then we can plan for that. But this is also correspondence to the action that went to the board for amending the food service vendors contract. So they'll handle that if we are awarded that grant.
Okay.
Mr. Ulrich, what's the approximate value of the grant for the fresh fruits and vegetables if we
So because
approved?
we don't know how many schools would be approved for that, I can't give you a full estimation on that just
Okay.
yet.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, the next item is the Northern Illinois East High graduation contract. So the district, we have the contract that's obviously attached, but we were exploring kind of options or possibilities in future years of maybe trying to move the date and to try to correspond with West Aurora as well. So maybe they do theirs in the morning, we do ours in the afternoon. And digging a little deeper, we found out that Canelan actually is their pair, and the soonest that we could pair up, and again, they have first right of refusal, would be in 2029, which is a few years out. So having just come from the graduation, there's a 3-year contract with NIU for the 28, 29, and 30 school year, which is the last Saturday in May for those 3 years. The same time, same pretty much that we did this last weekend, but it's there, no action for tonight, but it will be presented and dropped down for the June 15th board meeting. Any questions on that one?
I don't have any question. Have we ever explored anywhere else nearby? I mean,
I'll second.
That's a great question. I personally have not explored, but I have experience with the Sears Center out in, oh my goodness, it's off of 90 and I want to say Hoffman Estates.
Yeah.
My previous district, we would do graduation out there. It's a little bit larger of arena, but it's also twice the cost because even back then it was over $50,000 a year.
Oh.
And our agreement with Northern Illinois, including all the little bit of extras and added, are still under 25,000 each year for the graduation. So, I mean, we could explore some additional ones. I don't know what's going to be closer that's going to be able to accommodate our size.
The one tricky part after this next year is the way the calendar falls. That last weekend in May is Memorial Day weekend. So we know that that's going to be when we come to 28, 29, and 30, it will be Memorial Day weekend. So that was one of the reasons we were looking in to see if there was anything else we could do, but they've got everything booked out. And as Dr. Engel said, most school districts have the first right of refusal, aren't giving up their weekends.
No.
So some of the other options we could look at, but I don't know that I would recommend it is, in the past, we had done it on the high school football field, but then you're always kind of the weather. Yeah, the weather is a variable at that point in time. So other venues, Aurora University is not large enough. Rivers Edge Park, we'd face the same thing with the weather there.
I will say there's something special about graduating at your place.
Location.
Yes. Yes. I can very much attest to my graduation was set to be on the football field. Due to the weather, we were brought into the gym and we just made it worked out. It was tight, it was hot, but I can't imagine having graduated at NIU.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
That's a conversation we could have with amongst the board for sure. 'Cause that's something I'd want feedback from you guys on. So
Okay.
if we want to talk further, we could definitely have some further dialogue about that. I'm open to it. Mr. Simpson's out there nodding his head no at me like this, but
Say no?
I think he might have been the principal last time it was at the high school. No? Has it? Got it.
Okay.
No.
There that goes that.
Okay.
Dun dun dun.
All right.
Well,
All right.
Caramel?
Right.
I don't
Let's
know.
talk about it. What about
Right.
like the Paramount?
Oh,
Can we
We definitely can.
about Wabanzi?
We can look at some other places. The only thing is that Northern contract, we've got to get back to them pretty quickly. So we'll probably have to make a determination in the next 30 days because otherwise they could, if we don't sign in on that, then somebody will take our spot. But we definitely could look into something between now and the next board meeting.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to you guys and kind of let you know what we can find with that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right. The next item we have is kind of a housekeeping item. Actually, the next two things we have is a housekeeping item. So this is end of year bills. This is basically the finance department asking for permission to pay out bills on June 30th without a board meeting and having the board retroactively approve them at our first board meeting there in July. This is used to make sure that bills that are actually due in fiscal year 26 get allocated to fiscal year 26 and don't carry over to 27. And it also helps with any type of journal adjustments and keeps our accrue records in order. So any questions on that? All right. That'll be a June 15th dropping down for action because you guys will have to approve that. And then,
We'll have to approve the end of year bills?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically giving us permission to pay out on June 30th ahead of time prior to having board permission to get those bills in. Okay. The next one is an update for the administrative procedure. It's for meal expenses. This was last brought up about 2 years ago, since 2024. And I just wanted to kind of bring it up because the General Services Administration through the U.S. government updates this pretty regularly, sometimes annually, sometimes every 2 years. But it's meal reimbursement and just trying to keep up to date with it. It's sort of like the annual IRS mileage reimbursement rate. It's just something that comes out. We're trying to get this updated here for fiscal year 2027. So it'd be a July 1 start date coming up. But the biggest changes were for the breakfast allowance went from $13 to $16. Lunch went from $15 to $19 and dinner from $26 to $28 as far as reimbursable meal count. Are there any questions on that? And I was thinking maybe in future years, we can actually take the administrative procedure and actually just index it to the General Service Administration. That way, whatever it is, we wouldn't have to keep kind of bringing it back up, but kind of whatever it is, it just follows that because it does it by region here for the state of Illinois as well. So, but we're not there yet.
That's a thought. Yeah.
That's a thought. It's a good thought. We're just baby steps here. So any questions on that one?
No.
All right, the next one is going to be coming from the HR department.
Thank you. Next few items are coming from our department. First, there is a memo with regard to conditions and benefits. There is a condition and benefits summary update. What that is we have internally what's called Exhibit A, last review revised in 2023. What you have proposed are updates that align the benefits for administrative and department staff employees so that they are consistent with recent changes for our union employees that passed in the contract. So you'll see changes, for instance, to in sick days and personal days to make sure that those are in alignment with recent changes in the collective bargaining agreement so that those things are in alignment. That's minor changes, increasing sick days by 1 day for several tiers, increasing in a couple of those tiers personal day by 1 day as well. Any questions with regard to the Exhibit A? Okay. I'll move on to the next one, which is a joint high needs position. Again, as part of the new collective bargaining agreement, Under that agreement, the district and union must jointly develop and submit this list for annual board approval. Couple things to mention here. In section 911B, that limits tuition reimbursement eligibility to coursework in board approved high need areas. And in section 14.6, it identifies positions eligible for sign-on incentives of up to $2,000 at the district's discretion. It's important to note that this list was developed collaboratively with union representatives. This list reflects positions that have historically we have had challenges recruiting or hiring staff, where we have applicant shortage, long-term sub-reliance, or positions that are unfilled at the start of the school year. The list does remain under review until it is approved by the board, and this will drop for action on June 15th. Any questions at this point?
I don't have any.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is an update to change the title and job description, along with a slight salary increase for our student information technician / sys lead. We've had a recent resignation, and we recognize that this position is a critical position within our organization and requires updated job duties due to growing demands regarding IWAS reporting demands, ESSA accountability requirements, and just simply our reliance on data system integration. The current scope includes district data integrity, compliance reporting, sys integration with third-party platforms, staff training across buildings, and automation of data workflows. Our recommendation is that we have a salary range of $60,000 to $65,000. This aligns with our strategic goal, number 2, of operational excellence. That salary range does put us at the low to mid range of the current market in our area. We do hope to be competitive. And again, I want to stress this is these are the people that operate our student information system, which is really the backbone of a lot of what we do in our organization, and accounts for a lot of what we do. So this position is quite unique and important to what we do. This will drop for action this evening. So if there are any questions, I'm certainly happy to entertain those. And the last item is a memo for a college and career readiness counselor memo. This is simply a request to reclassify or repurpose a position that we already have. We had, with the current emphasis on more college and career readiness, we feel that we need somebody dedicated to that kind of work within our high school. We would not be adding a new position, but we would simply be repurposing the work of one counselor to really focus on college and career readiness. Any questions with regard to that request? And that would also drop for action on June 15th.
Would they be working with the current person don't we have somebody for college and career readiness at the high school?
We used to have an administrator over college and career readiness, but not somebody in the counseling department. But they would work within that counseling department on the college and career readiness piece. If there's no other questions, that concludes my report.
You. Okay, anything else? Okay, at 5:55, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll bring you some ways.